But the thing is when she hit me that night, I made her do it.
Yeah.
I made her do it. Every time she would go to swing, I would lean my face into the licks. My ex-girlfriend is taking me to court. Okay, I think this is a restraining order.
Today's Yap session is about a TikToker by the name of Nick Harris. Nick is a 31-year-old man from Greenville, South Carolina, and he pretty much just lives off of TikTok, which means all of his income is from TikTok. Nick kind of built up his own personal little fan base that lasted over a couple of years now. But I don't know if you could really call any of them real fans anymore, because since Nick lives off of TikTok, he pretty much documented his whole life on it, including the parts of his life where he was just an awful human being. Not saying that he isn't anymore, because he definitely is. A little backstory on Nick is that he's a recovering addict, but the recovering part is here and there. He's also stolen from his own family and then tried to blackmail his own mother. And he's a mass manipulator, with multiple arrests for DV. Nick's villain arc, if you even want to call it that, started with his family mostly. Nick hasn't really had a great relationship with his family, and he would frequently go on live just to talk them pretty much. And like I've mentioned, he's even tried to blackmail his own mother.
Please. I need $1,000 if you want to see me this year, Mom. And if you want me to answer the phone to tell you Merry Christmas, I need you to cash at me $250. That's just for the phone call. I'm so serious.
Nick seems to love talking about his family issues a lot on his live streams, but he's actually lying about all of the complaints he has about his family. And it looks like his sister got tired of all the shit talking and lies that Nick was doing, so she hopped in his live chat and started to expose him. What his sister had to say was that he was just lying about absolutely everything that he was saying on his live stream, and then she said, "What about when we were little? You put hands on us too," which means his sister is saying that when Nick was little, he hit his sister, and not in some playful manner that kids would do. And now this seems like a good time to bring up some not so good things that Nick did. And I'm talking about his 35 arrests, which he bragged about at one point.
Do you know how many times I've been arrested in my life? Like 35 times. Like 35 times across 6 different states with 4 felony convictions, and I just came home from prison. You hate me yet?
With 6 of those being DV and assault, and 3 being drugs. Not including the 2 other DV charges that he got this year. Which I'm not surprised about, because there's been a lot of insane shit recently going on with him and his girlfriend. Him and his girlfriend, who I'll be calling M, are in an extremely toxic relationship with each other, which has led to some pretty crazy moments. Even the first video that introduced me to Nick Harris was when he posted himself with massive black eyes. There's actually multiple videos of him with black eyes, and he claims that they're all from his girlfriend. But if you look further into Nick as a person, apparently he has manic episodes sometimes. And because of these episodes, people think that Nick could possibly be doing this to himself. And after Nick does this to himself, he emotionally abuses M into thinking that she did it, and just puts the blame on her for pretty much everything. But I definitely do think myself that M has put hands on Nick, because there is multiple videos out there of her admitting to hitting Nick. But there's also videos out there of Nick admitting that he made M hit him, but he still blames her for it.
Yeah.
But the thing is when she hit me that night, I made her do it. I made her do it. Every time she would go to swing, I would lean my face into the licks. Every time she would go to swing, I'm leaning my face into the licks because I'm tired of it. I like, okay, my mental health has to be important too. Everybody else's needs is getting taken care of. When are my needs?
I honestly think it could be either things happening, because Nick is definitely that insane to do something like that. Especially because he has a past of addiction and he's still struggling with it. But at the same time, his girlfriend is also an extremely toxic person. Something else that could prove that Nick is doing this to himself is whenever he posts pictures of the aftermath, he's always smiling or laughing in the pictures with his face pretty much demolished. And if someone was in an actual abuse situation like this, they wouldn't be smiling in the pictures. Unless you're literally insane and doing it to yourself, like Nick could be doing. And I'm not saying that M has absolutely no reason to hit Nick, because he'll bring her on live and then berate her for like 30 minutes straight in front of people. So if it is M, Nick doesn't exactly not deserve it.
To maintain stability, to still, despite all that, okay, we relapsed together, I relapsed a million times. Let's just get back on the horse. Let's just get back to work and just like, all right, just cool. We just don't use, you see? I have been trying to lead, and have you been very enthusiastic about letting me lead? No.
We talk about today.
Let's talk about today. All right. So today we're in a situation to where if you and I don't both have employments in the next couple of days, there's no way that us being together can work.
Oh, I know. I've been filling out applications
So
since yesterday. I've been doing it
will you
all day
listen?
today.
Will you listen to me for a second? So
It's the weekend. I'm not gonna be able to get a job. I'm waiting for calls back on Monday. I'm trying.
okay,
I was trying over at the last location also.
and that wasn't.
I got a call back, but it was too far to travel. I've got multiple calls back. I'm trying.
Okay.
Okay.
So if somebody out of the chat gives you a job, are you gonna go
Of
to
course
work?
I'm gonna go to work.
Okay. All right. And you don't drink anymore,
No, I
right?
do not drink anymore.
Care of you and love on you.
But right now, you're literally just beating down on me.
I'm not
feel
beating down
listen,
on
if
you.
we could just talk about a plan instead of constantly bringing up the past.
I don't know why Nick sits there and critiques her until she almost cries and then doesn't expect her to respond in some kind of way, if it's even M doing it. And when M does end up responding, he'll bring her on live and start telling her how she'll never find another man that she'll be able to beat like that with no repercussions.
I don't know. Not gonna
I don't
try.
think you're ever gonna find a man. I don't think that you're ever gonna find a man that you can brutally assault,
No.
who's not going to hit you back, that is going to love you and treat you like it never happened every day. I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I don't think you can find another Nicholas.
I just hate that always circles back to that, you know.
I don't think anybody is ever going to find another.
Nick has gotten tired of M's quote-unquote abuse several times, which made him try and move away.
I am leaving, and I'm moving to Maine.
The first person he tried to move in with was a guy named Jeff, and Jeff was on live talking about why he gave him an opportunity. And while on live, Jeff didn't sound very enthusiastic about Nick living there. I know I wouldn't be happy if Nick Harris was trying to live with me.
So I guess the question is, you guys keep asking me this question of like, why I am giving him an opportunity. So I guess right back at you, like, why didn't you give him a chance or slash opportunity or slash like a chance?
And the reason he's doing it is because M needs help that he can't give her, acting like Nick himself doesn't need more help than M does. Nick never ended up actually living with Jeff because Jeff was on a live with these people that started to tell Jeff about how Nick really was, and they eventually convinced Jeff to not let Nick stay at his place, which was a really good choice.
Police. You don't need police at your door because Nick's called and falsely accused you of this and that. He's falsely accused men of SA, of sexual assault, before, when they haven't done anything. And then he's admitted for doing it. Like, you are opening yourself to a world that you don't want to be in. And I can't tell you what to do, but as hard as it is, I would tell Nick to turn his ass around and go back to where he came from, because you are going to regret this in a couple weeks.
Not even a day later, he was back on the bus going back to his girlfriend. And since he was going back to M, he set some ground rules, like not being able to be on TikTok around her, which didn't last very long.
So here's some new rules, guys. I'm not going to be doing TikTok around. There's going to be no more TikTok lives around. There's going to be no more making her be on camera. Nope. So if you guys want me, you can have me.
But on to the next horrible thing that Nick did, which was body shaming multiple women, which he seemed to love doing. Because looking at this list, there seems to be a lot of instances where he does this. One more known instance of this is when he body shamed a girl named Technical Moon, because he did it 4 times on 4 different lives. I'm assuming that Technical Moon wasn't on Nick's side and she was trying to expose him for being the horrible person that he is, which really motivated Nick to get back at her. If that doesn't scream insecure, I don't know what does. The first instance of him body shaming Technical Moon was actually posted to Instagram for whatever reason, probably because he didn't want to make it as public as his TikTok was, because he knows he's shit talking somebody else for no reason, and it would end up making him look very bad, which it did anyway because Nick's a dumbass.
I'm such a sweet person. I don't want to be like y'all. I don't want to be negative like y'all. I don't want to hate people like you guys do. I don't want to hate myself like you guys do. And I'm not going to. I'm not like you. I'm going to keep being happy.
A couple of the other instances was just him yapping on live, but it was clearly about Technical Moon, so I'm not going to show you those ones. The one that I will be showing you is way more obvious that he is body shaming Technical Moon and even one of his other friends, he said.
Oh, they're not just pretty cool. They are the coolest. Hey guys, would you like to see? So chat, this is Technical Moon, yes, the person that commented, a beautiful queen that used to be my bestie who worked behind a desk at Crunch Fitness in Greenville. She's gorgeous, I know. And this is our bestie, Maggie Jones. I have been good friends with both of these young ladies for a hot minute now. Well, Technical Moon got a little crush on old Nicholas here, and Maggie got a little crush on old Jonathan. As you guys know, me and Sean Baer here are complete gentlemen, okay? There hasn't and nor will there ever be a time where we were rude to people simply based on the way that they look.
Nick hasn't only been fat phobic, because somebody that went on his live that you guys might recognize, and it's kinda funny to see her again in my opinion, but that's Linda Binda. If you don't recognize Linda, she's pretty much the gatekeeper of a pedophile named Jupiter, which is somebody I made a video on over a year ago now. And when Linda was in Nick's live, he started to be subtly transphobic towards her.
Discuss it if you don't want to.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, Jessica, I appreciate the heads up, but I'm fully aware. I'm not delusional, and I'm not naive.
Aware about what?
Miss Linda, you seem like a really sweet person. You seem very sweet. I really love the outfit, the glasses, everything. I love it. You seem super cool. How much do you bench? Hey, so is that your real hair?
It is, yeah.
That's your real hair?
Yeah. I just
So that's your real-
at night
so
I curl my hair with Coca-Cola bottles.
So you may not know this about me, but I date black women. Okay, so I'm asking you again: is that your real hair?
Yes.
Okay, I believe you. And that is exactly like as soon as someone tells me no and I know they're lying to me, I just say, yes, ma'am. I love your hair, girl. It looks amazing, girl. I love your hair. Oh yeah, it's real, of course. You know, because last year you had I think it was 5 or 6 inches of length, and now this year all of a sudden you've got 24 inches of length. Hold on 1 second. Yes. Chad Hood, hold on. We're discussing alpha male Chad things. 1 second.
Is he okay mentally in the head?
Nick's streak of terrible things still doesn't end here though, and the next one I'll be talking about is when Nick decided to get a cat, which you could probably guess how that went, because whenever people like Nick get a cat, it always turns out the same way. But as you could probably guess, this cat was not taken care of well at all and ended up getting worms, which Nick never ended up treating. But he did spill some of the cat's worm-infested water into the beef he was cooking on live.
He already got food, y'all. And water. I'm about to spill it, but I'll give him fresh water though.
So Nick probably has worms now, which he honestly deserves because like I said, he did not treat this cat right at all. There's a picture of him locking this kitten, by the way, in a cage on live. I'm not sure how long the kitten was in the cage, but it was for most of the duration of his live. There's also a video of Nick flipping this kitten around and force feeding it, because Nick has literally no idea how to take care of a cat.
And then you'd be looking stupid in fucking jail right now. I'm free. I'm free and my face healed up. Okay, cool. Everybody in the world knows that I let a girl hit me, but guess what? Everybody in the world knows that I didn't hurt her. So it doesn't matter, bro. And guess what? I'm going to grow from this.
I had to get a new syringe.
You can see in that video that Nick is literally just manhandling that kitten, like it's some kind of stuffed animal. This kitten was put in such bad conditions that one of Nick's neighbors felt the need to rescue it from him, because Nick eventually got tired of taking care of the cat himself, so he wanted to give it away to somebody else. And that person ended up being one of Nick's neighbors. After Nick's neighbor rescued this cat, he frequently posted updates about it just to let people know that the cat was actually doing okay for once. But moving on to the very last thing I'll be talking about is when Nick threatened his ex-girlfriend. According to Nick, this girlfriend only dated him for clout, which doesn't make sense because what clout does Nick really have? She also seemed to be stuck on Nick in some kind of way because she would always try to message him when him and Em would argue. Nick would also go on live calling her a stalker and all types of other things, when Nick was the one who couldn't stop talking about her for a long period of time. And I guess Nick and her would go back and forth with posting videos on TikTok about each other, which led to Nick threatening her because he didn't like one of the videos that she posted about him. But it looked like they both agreed to take down the videos they had made on each other, and she just hadn't done it yet. But Nick clearly wanted the post taken down immediately because he threatened her and said that he'll make a post that she won't like. Nick would try and flip everything on his ex, saying that she was the one threatening him and manipulating him. So she responded herself in a personal text. And Nick had the audacity to say, "Never gonna find a man like me." So she said, "You threatened me, that's when it was done." And he says, "Oh well, snowflake." She then confronts him about trying to flip everything on her. She also made a good point that Nick has been with somebody that influenced him to be this way, which is Em, I'm assuming. But in the end of all these threats, Nick's ex-girlfriend ended up taking him to court. It looks like she was just done with Nick's harassment and threats, so she finally decided to serve him.
My ex-girlfriend is taking me to court. So, I'm not sure what for, but, okay, so the 17th. Okay, well, I think this is a restraining order. I think it's a restraining order.
But anyways, that's pretty much everything you should know about Nick Harris. This is my longest video I've recorded so far because there's just so much stuff to talk about with this guy. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering where Nick is now, he's in a sober house called Graceland. And it's with whoever this guy is. He looks familiar to me, but I just don't know who he is. But either way, the sober house he's in isn't even helping him because he's posted videos of him just partying in that house.
Reason, right? Because you're not seeing me go live? That don't make no sense. That's a scam. Don't get scammed. So what I'm saying is, unsubscribe to Nick.
Like, why is there fucking club music playing at a sober house that has no real doctors or anything inside of it, by the way? But according to Reddit, Nick's being paid to be there in the first place. So it doesn't look like Nick's getting help anytime soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching.
We did it! Yay! We did it!
No DJ Khaled, but we the best. Them chops howling, where you a best. If I catch you, I locking you down.